We are going to do strength supersets today, but this time our supersets are not simple. We have combos, but our combos are leg combos and then upper body combos. And we have 4 little sets. And when we are doing these simple sets, it's just 2 moves, and we go through them 4 times and then we rest. So get heavy weights. This is strength training goodness for your body. Our message for this workout is Colossians 4 verse 6. Let your speech always be gracious, seasoned with salt, so that you may know how you ought to answer each person. Oh, I'm a woman of many words. I love to talk. So this already, just writing out the verse, thinking on the verse, and praying about this workout, man, it's already convicting for me. Let's work through it together. But first, let's just start with a good warm-up. Roll these shoulders. Good. Roll them the other way. Good. Pick up your knees. Pick them up. So in Colossians 3, we had a few other lets, and today we have a let. It's such a fun word to me. Or funny. It makes me laugh. Like, let. What does that word even mean? All right, open up your hips. Go out to the side and then take the other leg out to the side. Make a circle. Let. So we're going to talk anyway, aren't we? But what if we let our speech always be gracious, seasoned with salt? Step it side to side. And then probably the thing that's most just curious to me is where it's like, hey, so that you know how to answer each person. I'm like, wow, is that even possible? Good job. Now pull and row it back. Pull those arms, opening up your chest. Open up those legs. You might feel it in your quads, hamstrings. Good. Now reach across your body. One of my favorite warm-up moves right here, reaching across. It's almost like a little bit of a stretch, but you're crossing and rotating. So good for your brain, this move right here. Now reach up, still going across your body. Good job. So I love to start our workout and talk at the beginning with the question, how is your speech? All right, we're gonna step it back just a few times. How is your speech? Is it seasoned with salt? Is it spicy? Oh, is it seasoned with other things? What? Just take assessment. Just pray right now. Drop the pen. How's your speech? How do you talk to people? How do you answer others? And just ask the Lord to show you. How is your speech? Pull your knees up. Good. Now take a few steps behind you. So just step back behind you. Low impact today. I'm barefoot. It's good for your balance. Do you know that? Have you given it a try? Working out barefoot? I love a good strength training workout that's barefoot. All right, now give me some practice squats. So just down and up. You can, it's okay if you're not squatting deep. You're just getting in that motion, getting ready for it. It's okay if you go a little bit deeper. No weights right now. So drop the pin on your speech. Good, now take your legs wide and we're just gonna reach down, reach behind you. Good job. 2 times. Hold these weights tight or by your side, and we're gonna do a squat, and then a reverse lunge, come back to the squat, and then reverse lunge the other side. So squat, lunge back, squat, lunge back. If you'd rather, you squat with your weights on the outside, squat, back, squat. All right, next move, upper body. Give me a bicep curl and a shoulder press. Curl and then press. Press. Curl. Good job. And this is our first set. Now, put your weights down or hold on to them. Full rest. All right, those are our moves. You can hold those weights out to the side or tight in. Give me squat, reverse lunge. All right, let's go to our message. Let your speech always be gracious, seasoned with salt, so that you may know how you ought to answer each person. Now, what word stands out to you? Oh, just think about it. I think some of the main words are speech, gracious, seasoned, salt. What word? Alt. Alt is a funny word to me too. So what word stands out to you? The biggest one that I think about, and as I've been preparing for this workout and message, the biggest one that stands out to me is salt. Why does he choose salt to talk about speech? Just get curious. Think about it. Maybe you're right now. Why does he choose salt to talk about speech? 2 more rounds. So salt, it used to be used as a preservative. It still is. It's definitely used as a seasoning. If I can only have one seasoning in my kitchen, it would be salt. I love salt so much. I don't love sweets. I love salt. So it's definitely a seasoning. I'm gonna do one on the other side. Good. Now bicep curls, presses. There was a time when salt was how people got paid. Yeah? Salary, that word salary comes from salt. But truly, I think in this passage, this word is mostly for seasoning. All right, you have one last round, one more little minute of that, those 2 moves. Here we go. Squat, reverse lunge. So, salt, a seasoning that usually makes our food taste better. So, one commentary that I read talks about how it's a metaphor. And it's a metaphor because salt is flavorful and it makes our food stimulating and it makes our food more interesting. Oh, and one even said, which I think this is so interesting, coming off of verse 5, 4 and 5, talking about being wise towards outsiders. It says it makes our conversation wise. We're called to talk and let our speech be wise. I love thinking about the seasoning, yeah? Bringing flavor, just making it better. What if our speech, all right, take it down. What if our speech brought more interest or flavor or seasoning into conversations. What kind of seasoning? Gracious seasoning. All right, next two moves. We're gonna take our legs to the side with lateral lunges and hold those legs up. So we're gonna go to this side, knee up. Train that balance if you can. So you're going to the left side and then pull that knee up. Pull that knee up. Push off your whole body weight and whatever weights you are holding. Last one. All right, I'm gonna turn to the side for this. I want you to row your weights and from your chest, kick them back. So give me a good row and then kick it back. You're not using your wrists. Your arms are pulling your weights up by your chest and then kicking them back. Good job. Row, kick back. Good. Now, tiny break. And then for this circuit, you're only gonna do one on each side, all right? Yeah, these are hard, but they're so good for us to train to the side. All right, so we're going to the other side, to your right. So do that side lunge, knee up. Train your balance. If you're a little wobbly, that's all right. You're training it. The more you work on the balance and moves like this, it's gonna get stronger, I promise. That's part of it. So, I'm still talking about the seasoning. Last one. All right, now we got elbows to the ceiling. Kick it back. Pull those elbows up. Push. Straighten those arms back. Try not to sling your weights. Try to place them. Your muscles are putting them where we're telling them to go. Think about it. Good job. Tiny break. Halfway through this little set. So, now let's go back up. Well, before we leave salt, let your speech always be gracious. Go back to the side. Seasoned with salt so that you may know how you ought to answer each person. Before we leave salt, I just want to talk about a teaching from Jesus in Matthew chapter 5, the Sermon on the Mount. Oh, love that Jesus talks about salt too. Good job. Last one. Jesus says, you are the salt of the earth. But if the salt has lost its taste, how shall its saltiness be restored? It is no longer good for anything except to be thrown out and trampled under people's feet. That sounds pretty strong, yeah? He's calling us over, tiny break. He's calling us the salt of the earth. We are the salt. All right, here we go. So lateral lunge over and then stand it up. This is your last one. Good job. Keep it strong. And I just think it's interesting how he says, if the salt loses its saltiness or loses its taste, how will the saltiness be restored? Good job. Finish it up right here. Rows and kickbacks. And I'm like, wow, I've never thought about that. Can salt lose its taste? But I get the point. I told you, salt is my favorite seasoning. I would even say, I don't know if it's truly a condiment, it's a seasoning. It's my favorite thing. But if I have bland food, put your weights down, tiny little break. If I have bland food and I went to cook my salt shaker and it didn't taste anything, I really would be like, well, that is bad. I would throw it out, right? So what does that mean in Jesus's teaching about we are the salt of the earth? We are to not lose our saltiness, our taste. And then here's Paul writing to the church at Colossians, or Colossae, writing to the Colossians, and he's telling them, let your speech be seasoned with salt. Let it always be gracious. All right, here we go. This is our third set. Now, I want you to, we're gonna start on this leg, but we're going back to this side. So we're gonna do curtsy lunges, knees up. We're gonna stay on this side. Hug those weights tight. Take that leg back, and then again, knee up. Curtsy, back and down. So go back, and then knee up. Keep your body facing me, but the foot is not going straight behind you. It's going back, and then knee up. Stay on that side. Ooh, yeah. Now, we have some different curls. So I want you to give me a curl, and this time for our press, go around. Make like a little circle. Make like a little circle, turn your weights at the top, and then give me a bicep curl. Good job. So, we want our speech to not be worthless. So when we talk to other people, we want it to have value. All right, put your weights down, all the way down, during those little breaks. We're staying on the same side. Stay on the same side. So that curtsy lunge with your left leg going back, back, knee up. Take your time. We're doing enough of these that I want you to train that balance and get deep into that glute as you go behind you. Good job. So, go back to Paul's words, and let's hang out with gracious for a little bit. Let your speech always be gracious. It gives grace. Bicep curl, circle it around. There was a time where I had a little alarm in my phone that was reminding me to have gracious speech. And not only did it remind me to have gracious speech, but it reminded me to not use shame in my talk. This is actually more for my kids. Remember, Paul is talking about outsiders right here. In verse 5, he said, conduct yourselves wisely toward outsiders, using the best use of time. And then he's going on. It's like this is a continuation. Stay on that same side. He's like, he goes on to say, let your speech always be gracious. I'm just telling you. When I took assessment and I asked you to kind of take assess and drop the pen, how is your speech? There was a time a few years ago and I was like, man, I think I'm dishing out the shame here. I want to dish out the grace. So as you take assessment today, how would someone else describe your speech? You actually, it's not the best litmus test for you to describe it, because sometimes we have an ideal self in an ideal way that we would want to talk to people, but that might not be a reality. So, how would other people describe how you talk? Good job. Last time, take your rest. Last round with the curtsies on this side. And guess what? In our final set, we're gonna go on the other side. All right, set it up. Here we go. Back and balance. How would someone else describe your speech? Would they say, well, she or he is always gracious? Would they say he or she is kind? Or would they say, kind of shameful, kind of negative, kind of mean or rude? How would someone else describe your speech? Ask the Holy Spirit to remove our blind spots. Let us be teachable and correctable, because we want to walk obediently according to the calling. Walk in a manner worthy of Christ. Good job. Take a rest a little bit longer. You have one last set. We're going to curtsy lunge this side, and we're going to work on those triceps. Oh, one of my favorite moves, if I haven't told you yet. Oh. So shake out those arms. Probably one of your sides is stronger than the other, or you could say one of your sides is more balanced than the other. So it's interesting to do one leg work and stay on that side. Yeah, you get to test it out, figure it out. All right, grab your weights. Let's go into this last one. We're gonna take that right leg back, curtsy, knee up. Take your time. Don't rush through these. So, and going with the last little phrase, let your speech always be gracious, seasoned with salt. All right, right here, take your left leg back, triceps behind you, and just your body's in like a straight diagonal, and you're giving me little pulses. Engage your core, and give me little pulses. Don't arch your back. Your core is engaged. This is a huge core move right here. And then your triceps, time under tension. Keep those weights behind those hips. That's our move. Tiny break. This last part, so that you may know how you ought to answer each person. This is a hard one for me, because I'm like, oh, raise it up. It'd be hard for me to truly have all the answers. I don't have the answers. And I don't think Paul's telling us, or telling the church at Colossae, you gotta know everything. They obviously didn't know everything. They had the false teaching coming in, but they lived among outsiders. And he's not telling them, hey, you gotta know everything to get it right. Change your leg, other leg back, core is lined up, arms behind your hips, pulse it up, palms to the ceiling, pulse it, pulse, pulse. He's giving them an answer right here of like, hey, you don't have to know all the answers. I think he's just saying, make sure you're gracious when you talk to other people. Let your speech always be gracious, seasoned with salt, so that you may know how you ought to answer everyone. All right, halfway there through this set. Curtsy, knee raise, curtsy, balance. Take it back, and then balance. And I think another thing, and maybe this is just personal to me, but I'll share it. You can see if it's a word for you too. But one of the things, especially because I'm a woman of many words, I talk a lot. Take back on your right leg back, weights behind you. Whew, don't arch that back. You see this? Tuck it, core's engaged, pulses. Palms are facing the ceiling, and you're taking those weights, tiny moves. This is time under tension right here. Back behind you, all the way through the timer. Keep going with me. Good, job. One last tiny break. One last set. What I was trying to say, and what I'll go ahead and say as we do these last two moves, is I need to be quiet more, and I need to slow down more. And that is one way I can be more gracious. That is one way I can know how to answer people. I can just listen and sit and think before I talk. What would be a gracious response? How do I answer these people? Last one. Good job. All right, take your right leg back, sorry. And then take and pulse it. Good job. Pulses all the way through the end. This is your very last move. Good. Keep going. Give me 5 more. 2, 1. Weights down. Yes. Good job. What a way. And triceps are on fire, right? Shake them out. Ah, feels good. Go ahead. Take that arm back behind your head. Ooh, be gentle. Breathe. Be gentle there. And then let it fall down. Take the other arm back. Be gentle, gentle. And then let it fall. All right, let's pull it across this time. Gentle pull. Now take it back, but as you hold it back this time, pull towards the side. Breathe for me. Good job. And let it fall. Other arm comes across. Deep breathing. So as you finish up the workout, as you go beyond it, now lean over to that side as you press that arm back. Think through how your speech is. How could you be more gracious in your speech? All right, right here, just feet hip width apart and just reach straight up and fold over. Go side to side. You can even sweep your hands on the floor. Good. Now, hold your elbows and just let your head and body weight hang down. Good job. Right here, take a deep inhale. Reach up. Exhale long. Drop those shoulders for me. Loosen, loosen. Good. Now we're gonna just lean over to this side. Lateral lunge, but take it to the floor. Raise that foot up. Rock back and forth. How is your speech? Walk it on over to the other side and rock back and forth. Good job. Right here in the middle. Now right here, I want you to drop your head and just fold over as much as you can. But then gaze up and drop your bottom. Now stand. Drop your bottom and move a little bit side to side and then stand. Bring your arms around and up. Grab your wrist and pull to the side. Breathe, breathe, and exhale. Reach up, grab the other one, pull to the other side. Good. Breathe. Exhale. Lean over to this side and just pull that arm across. Exhale for me. Inhale over to the other side. Pull it across. Another inhale. Now exhale. Good. Roll those shoulders. Take your hands up. And as you reach tall, pull your arms down to a W as if you're going to touch those elbows behind you, chest open. Put those hands in the small of your back and arch your back, poke your chest out, shoulders back. And while you're doing that, roll your head a big circle and roll the other way. Good. Shake it all out. Let's hold out our hands. Lord, I want to work so hard at my speech, but what if I just slow down and I just let my speech be gracious always? Please lead me in that. Lord, help us all to have speech that is seasoned with salt. I pray that I will slow down and listen well and think before I speak and even ask, is this right? Is it good? Is it pure? Is it kind? Is it honorable? Is it true? Is it necessary? Is it gracious? Is it salty in a good way? And Lord, please help us to know how we ought to answer each person. And Lord, when we get it wrong, help us to be patient and kind with ourselves, to circle back around, to clean up our messes, and really just to love other people well. Just like He told us in Colossians 3, above all else, love. I pray this in the name of Jesus. Amen. Thank you so much for strengthening your body with me. I will see you next time.